Hey everyone! Today I want to dive into the latest buzz surrounding the Despicable Me franchise, specifically the announcement of a new movie. When I first heard about this, I was genuinely surprised. I thought the series had wrapped up, but here we are with a new installment on the horizon. And honestly, I'm pretty excited to see what antics Gru and the Minions will get up to this time around. I've always had a soft spot for the combination of Gru and his mischievous minions. It's more enjoyable for me than the standalone Minions movie. The language and actions of the Minions are just hilarious. However, I do need to refresh my memory on the previous film since it's been a while. Reading the description of the new movie, I learned that it introduces a new character, Gru Jr., who's intent on tormenting his dad. We also have a new nemesis, Maxime Lamal, voiced by Will Ferrell, and his girlfriend Valentina. The family is forced to go on the run, which sounds like it could lead to some fun and chaotic moments. Trying to recall the events of the previous movies, I remember a supervillain and the transformation of the Minions into purple minions. Gru also found a long-lost brother in one of the movies. It's been several years since the last film, and I definitely need to brush up on my Despicable Me history. Now, I have to be honest here. While there are aspects of the Illumination movies I appreciate, like the voice acting, character design, animation quality, and the overall premise, I'm not a big fan of the Despicable Me series. The predictable and repetitive plots are a major issue for me. A predictable plot device they often use is having the main character, usually Gru, start off with a child who initially dislikes them, but eventually warms up to them. This plot has been overused and lacks originality. Each movie in the series involves a heist that goes wrong, leading to a repetitive storyline. Specifically, in the Despicable Me 4 trailer, I'm annoyed by the introduction of a new child character for Gru to take care of. It feels like a rehash of the first movie. The reason people watch this series is for the cool and interesting concept of Gru being a villain who has to do heroic things. Another gripe I have is with the inclusion of yet another failed heist in the trailer. It's repetitive and unoriginal. There's a lack of innovation in the storyline and a constant reliance on similar plot elements. I'm also disappointed with the choice to introduce a new villain instead of bringing back the fan-favorite character, Vector. The new villain's cockroach theme is unappealing to me. It would have been more exciting to see Vector return. Overall, my main criticism of Illumination movies, particularly the Despicable Me series, is the lack of originality and repetitive plot lines. The predictability of the stories and the choices made in the Despicable Me 4 trailer are frustrating. Continuing on this theme, Gru always starts off as incompetent and goofy, but magically becomes a hero at the end. In previous movies, Gru defeats the villains in seemingly impossible ways, like using a timer on a shrink ray or a lipstick taser. There's a lack of continuity or consequences in the plot. Bringing back previous villains or introducing long-term consequences could make the story more interesting. The lack of character development and the repetitive nature of the movies are big issues for me. Based on the trailer, I predict that in Despicable Me 4, Gru will have a child who hates him, an old nemesis will break out, and they'll have to retrieve something from the grandmother's house to stop the villain. The Minions or Gru's wife and kids will go on a goofy adventure while Gru tries to save the kidnapped children. I wouldn't be surprised if a famous baseball player shows up as a plot device to save the day, and in the end, everything will be resolved until the next movie. I acknowledge that it's okay for others to enjoy these movies, but personally, the predictability and lack of originality are frustrating for me. Now let's talk about the marketing trend and character development in the Despicable Me franchise. Over the years, the franchise has been gaining popularity, with the latest film, Minions 2, grossing over $1 billion. The franchise has split itself into two timelines, one with Gru as the protagonist and another with the Minions as the protagonists. It seems like the Minions are becoming more popular than Despicable Me itself. The ensemble cast of Despicable Me 4 is expanding, with new characters being introduced, such as Gru's 3 children, a new baby, a wife, a neighbor teenage girl, and various villainous characters. Even the Minions have names now, and there are 5 new important Minions introduced in this film. The increasing number of characters in the Despicable Me format may be why the spin-off prequel, Minions, is more popular. Analyzing the marketing strategy for Despicable Me 4, I noticed that the first trailer focused focused on Gru and his new child, with snippets of other characters and plot lines. However, the second trailer is more focused on the minions, showing them in their offices and hinting at a superhero parody plotline. It's interesting that the film is incorporating a superhero theme, especially since the superhero genre in movies is fading and there's a trend of Marvel fatigue. The delay in release due to COVID-19 may have affected the timing of the superhero plot. Despite my initial skepticism towards the Despicable Me franchise, Minions 2 has changed my opinion and I have faith in the upcoming film. Some characters may be underdeveloped as not all of the villains have been shown speaking yet. In the trailer for Despicable Me 4, the Cyclops' origin story has been seen before, but the comedic jokes and chaotic nature of the minions make it a lot of fun. The trailer showcases more jokes about the villain's struggles with building a mecha and handling administrative tasks, which adds to the lighthearted and fun nature of the movie. This trailer differs from the first one and showcases more of the Minions' antics. I enjoy the superhero parody and believe that the movie will be popular, especially since it's not releasing during a COVID-19 lockdown. Illumination's success with their Mario project gives me hope that Despicable Me 4 will continue their streak. I'm leaning towards enjoying this movie and I'm looking forward to it. What do you think about the trailer and the upcoming Despicable Me 4? Do you have any predictions for the movie? Let me know in the comments. Hey there, fellow animation lovers! Get ready to dive into the latest buzz around the Despicable Me franchise as we eagerly await the release of Despicable Me 4. With Gru and his hilarious minions returning to the big screen, we can only imagine the wild adventures and side-splitting antics that await us. This time around, we're introduced to a brand new character, Gru Jr., along with the return of the ever-talented Will Ferrell as the voice of Maxime Lamal. The laughs and action are guaranteed. But the big question is, will the movie stick to the tried and true formula or surprise us with something fresh? Will Gru start as an incompetent villain turned hero yet again? And will the minions steal the spotlight with their adorable mischief? As we explore the highs and lows of the Despicable Me series, I want to hear from you. What do you think of the trailer? What are your predictions for the movie? Are you thrilled to see Vector make a comeback, or are you skeptical about the new villain? Do you expect the same old plot, or are you hoping for a fresh twist? Let's also chat about the marketing strategy and character development in the franchise. Have the Despicable Me movies become too formulaic, or are new characters and plot lines a breath of fresh air? How do you think the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the movie's release and performance? Join the conversation and let your voice be heard. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get this discussion started!